Good morning. It is wonderful Wednesday, October 11th, 2017. And today started a little rough for me. I woke up this morning with a horrible headache, like the back of my head, down the back of my neck, and into my shoulders, and then like my whole head felt really clogged from sinus pressure. And so I lay there for a little while. I thought this isn't going to get better just laying here. So I got up and I made some tea and I took some Excedrin. And then my husband heated the rice bag for me so I could put it on the back of my head. And I also took some decongestant to kind of clear my sinuses, and that has helped. But because of all the pain and stuff, it tends to affect my tummy too, so I kind of get a little bit sick. So I was kind of sick a little bit about 4 or 5 times this morning already. So hopefully that's over with. And we can have a wonderful Wednesday. Yes. Hopefully the yucky part of my day is over and it can all be good from here. Yeah. I'm just going to be positive no matter what, because if I feel bad, I'm just going to make it through anyway. My daughter has Gamers Club tonight, and she didn't get up early enough to catch the bus, so she'll be taking the car, so I'll be here after school for a little bit longer than normal. It'll be okay, though. At first, I was kind of like, I don't want to be here that late, but then I'm like, you know what? There's always stuff I can do, and then I don't have to do it at home. So I'm hoping to get my planning for next week done after school today during my little time right after school when the kids have gone to their dismissal spots. And also the time after that when my daughter is still at Gamers Club and hasn't come pick me up yet. So she won't come pick me up until about 4:45. So I'll have 2 good hours about to work on things. So hopefully I can get my stuffs together and not have to do anything this weekend planning wise. Of course, I always find stuff that I want to add in, but whatever. We're using 10 frames today because we're learning making a 10 to add in Go Math, and I have these cute little things I want to try today with my little erasers from Target. If you watched my Fun Fall Finds video like a month ago probably, where I got some stuff from Target and Dollar Tree, I'm using those things today, and I will be sure and show you. I just hope that I have enough of them. I think I have some more in the first grade closet, but I don't know if I'll get a chance to dig it out before that happens. So they may have to share, but that'll be okay because they like to work in partners. So we may do that. I may set a couple kids at the table over here, this reading table, if I can maybe show you the reading table here. Right there. These are the kids that need to finish their writing, but I thought I might, for the 10 frame thing, I might set partners there at the table because I can have 3 sets of partners working there. Sorry about the wiggles. I was getting the camera set back together. So when they're sitting at their desks, obviously they already have a built-in partner, and then I can have 3 sets of partners over here. So that'll be 7 sets of partners. So that'll be 14 kids right there. And then I can split the kids on the corners of the rug so they're not all jammed together. So I think that might work really well for today's math because the hands-on part, they don't have to write anything down on their paper yet. So I can have them do that first, and then I'll have the kiddos that worked at the table just go on down to their work spot on the floor, which is what those green sit spots are. If you see them kind of hooked around. When we had the PLC meeting in here on Friday, one of my teacher friends was like, okay, I see the X's and the circles. What are those for? And I said, okay, the X's are the independent work spots when we're working on our own. The green are the sit spots, and those are just for math because they were clumping together like crazy, and they need room to spread out their school box and their Go Math book and their snack. And so I was trying to get them so they had a little more space. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. I said, yeah, it seems to be working. I said, before I put the X's on the rug, they were just clumping together, even though I would say, please be 2 huge scooches away from everybody. They just, I don't know, they just would gravitate toward each other because that's what kids do. They like to be together. And that's fine, but they don't get the work done. Just like teachers, if you're talking to your friends, you don't get a lot of work done either. So you need a little bit of space to work. It is about 4 minutes before kiddos come, and I'll just show you what I'm wearing today. So the high today is 63. So it's like 50s right now. So it's a little chilly, but I'm still being a rebel and wearing open-toed shoes until I can't. Because I love my boots. Don't get me wrong. I love my boots. But I basically go from flip-flops to boots. There's no in between. So once I go to boots, I'm staying in boots. I'm not going to have my flip-flops anymore. So I want to wait till we have an actual normal fall type temperature consistently, which right now it's still fluctuating. Like tomorrow's supposed to be a lot warmer again. Weird. Anyway, so I'm wearing this little like kind of a cap sleeve type shirt. I kind of call it my graffiti top, and you'll see why in a minute. Now I've got jewelry from Cato, and I believe this is from Walmart probably. There's my pineapple bracelet that I always wear. And then I've got this watch. I can't remember what this watch is called, These clip off. See the little lobster claw clips? You pick the face that you like, and you can pick the bands that you like, and they clip on and off. I got them from Amazon. I don't think they have them anymore. But there was a company a couple years ago that sold these on Amazon, and you could get all kinds of bands. And I love me some matchy-matchy, as you can tell. So I got several different colors and different styles of the bands and a couple of different watch faces. So that's where that came from. And if I remember when I'm editing, I will try to tell you the name of this, because the company probably still exists, but they may not sell on Amazon anymore. Okay, and then I've got my chameleon ring with the little pop-in insert thing. Let me back up. I've got some black pants on from Maurice's. My top is from Cato. My sweater is from Maurice's. And then my shoes are kind of oldish, so I want to say probably Target or Kohl's. Okay, let me back up so you can see the full meal deal. So there's my top, and just my black. These are nice stretchy pants. I love these pants. I have like brown, gray, and black in these from Maurice's. And they come in different lengths, which is great because I'm short. So here's what it looks like all together. The sweater has like little cutouts in the back. I don't know if you can kind of see that there. Now you can kind of see it. Really comfortable. And so I'm going to be warm. And if I get too warm, I can just take this off because it's not, even if it was sleeves, it'd be fine. But I'll probably be leaving it on because it's going to be a little chilly. And I think the heat is running in here now because it's cold enough. If I think about it, I will try to show you the smokehouse and the fire truck. I don't know why I didn't film that yesterday. I had my phone on me. I did take pictures of the kids. I could have filmed some of the presentation. Didn't even think about it till last night. I went, oh, I should have filmed that. But honestly, when I'm in my teaching mode, I'm not thinking about filming usually, unless I have a little few seconds to reflect. Like when I give out the games for the kids to play, I go, oh, I could film this. But usually in the midst of everything, I don't think about it. So I apologize for not sharing that with you. I might be able to either run out there and show you or go from the window because they park right outside my classroom windows. So I might be able to just shoot out the window. You can see at least what they look like, which would be kind of cool. My kids will be here in like 1 minute, so I better get myself together. I don't have to project the morning work, which is good. For intervention time, I'm going to have the other class come in with my group and watch the 2 YouTube videos that I found on double-digit subtraction, which I think are really good to kind of introduce it. Excuse me. And then we'll do that activity where they have the subtraction page and they have to mark the ones with green before they do the page. So they'll know that they start with the ones and then they go to the tens to subtract. That'll be what we do this morning. So I think it's going to be great. I have a positive attitude. Even if I feel kind of yucky and sicky, I'm going to be fine because I'll make it through somehow. And I can always run to the bathroom and grab one of my partner teachers and say, help, I need help. So hopefully that will happen. So I'll chat with you later. I meant to show you some of the fall things that I put out. So here's a couple of scarecrows. And then here's some stuff I don't know what to do with yet. Here's a couple more little fallish things. And then I'll take you outside my door. I also added word families to my Pineapple Password. I got these little pumpkins from Target, I think last fall. I think they have some kind of form of them this year too. I was able to snag 9. And so we've been using them for math sometimes, just for fun. And I thought I'd try to come up with a game to use with these for math so the kids would have fun playing with them.
68 cherries mean 6 tens and 8 ones, cherries. And 16 cherries mean 1 10 and 6 ones, cherries. To subtract, we first cancel 6 ones from 8 ones is equal to 2 ones. And then we cancel 1 10 from 6 tens is equal to 5 tens. So we get the answer as 5 tens and 2 ones, which is 52. Hence, there are 52 cherries left with Mr. William.
Wow. I'm not sure the lighting is that great in here, but I don't want the lights on because I've had a headache and I don't want to bring it back. So I'm sorry for the bad lighting. I'm trying to get my face in the MacBook too, but that's not really happening. That might be a little better. Okay. So I dropped my kids off at PE. We're just a tiny bit late because we had the fireman visit, and that went really well, except for a couple of my more outspoken students were outspoken during the presentation, even though we did this whole spiel about being respectful and being quiet and listening and saving your questions till the end instead of shouting out. And that's exactly what they did. They shouted out. And I just kept going. Finally, I just said, friends, remember to save your questions for later. We need to listen. Like, I had to physically just do that. And I felt bad. But the firemen are not, you know, used to dealing with roomfuls of children. We had 2 classes together. And so I kind of felt bad for them. I mean, they wanted to answer the questions, but if you just start answering questions willy-nilly, they're just going to take over the whole presentation. And so we didn't have very much time. We needed to go to PE right after that. And I forgot about, oh, we won't have time for a restroom break if we do that. So I just had the ones that really needed to go before PE go really fast. So we weren't terribly late. My bad. Didn't plan very well for that apparently. And then after PE, we have 5 minutes before lunch. And PE is like literally right here and there's the lunchroom. So I said, friends, if you need to go to the bathroom before lunch, please go really fast right now. You have a couple minutes, just go. And then of course we go after lunch too. So anyone that needs to go after that will go too. I needed to go to the nurse to get an injury report to fill out for myself because my foot is still doing horrible from my lovely leader friend stepping on my shoe 2 different times on Monday. Yes, Monday. And it is now Wednesday. And last night, my poor foot, which is the same foot that I injured a year and a half ago, like 2 school years ago in the spring, I injured it and I tore a tendon, only we didn't know that there was a torn tendon for months and months and months and months. And so I was walking on it for a long time thinking I just sprained it. That's a whole story. Anyway, to shorten it, turns out I had a torn tendon, had to have surgery, had to recover from the surgery, blah, blah, blah. I was on a knee scooter for almost, well, like 4 months of the previous school year and then all of last school year until February. I was finally able to walk. And now the same foot has been re-injured somehow. And last night, it was hurting so badly. So bad I almost cried. It was that bad. And I'm used to pain because I have medical issues. So I'm used to being in pain all the time. But that was awful. And just getting up to walk, I didn't know if I was going to make it back upstairs from the family room to my bedroom. And it was awful. I mentioned awful several times because it was really awful. Anyway, my ankle on that side was swollen so bad. And I was like, well, maybe it's just my ankle's big, you know. So I looked at my other ankle. No. It was swollen that badly. My husband looked at it and he's like, wow, yeah, it's really swollen. And so I thought, okay, I need to report this because it's an injury that happened at school. Because last time I didn't know that I'd been hurt as badly as I was, and so I didn't report it, and then everything was on me to foot the bill. Literally fit the bill. Bad pun. Anyway, so I went and talked to the secretary. I said, is there some form we need to fill out if we were injured at school? And she goes, yeah, the nurse has it. Have you been injured? And I told her a situation. She's like, oh no. I said, yeah, I hope it's nothing. I said, but I know there's like a timeline on these things where if you don't report it by a certain time, it's too late and I can't do anything about it. And she said, yeah, the only bad thing is you have to see our doctors. And I said, yeah, I know. That's just the way it is. So I went and spoke to the nurse, got my injury report, and she said I can bring it back to her. I can put it in her box, or I could stand there and fill it out. And I said, I'll just take it with me and bring it back. She's like, okay. She was really sweet. She said, do you need any ice or any ibuprofen or anything? And I said, no, I think I'm okay. I said, I've got my own little pharmacy in my room that's locked up in my drawer. She goes, okay, as long as it's away from the kids. And I said, yep, it's locked up. They can't get to it at all. She's like, okay, that sounds good. And so went on my merry way, and I have about 9 minutes before I need to go back upstairs and pick up the kids. So that's my life right now. I just want to be normal. Just a normal walking, normal, no injuries, normal, no swelling problems kind of person. But that is not me, apparently. So I'm just going to deal with it and move on. It'll be fine. It'll work out. God's got it under control. I'll make it through. I made it through before. I'll make it through again. Whatever happens, happens. I'll keep you updated and let you know what's up with me. Anyway, on a happier note, math was pretty cool today. For intervention time, we watched the 2 double-digit subtraction videos from YouTube, and I'll try to remember really hard to link them below, but no guarantees because, friends, you know, my brain will be by the end of the day. I'll do my best. Anyway, one of the lessons was an Indian lady, and she was explaining how to do it. And it was cute. There's a little family in a cartoon car, and they went on a picnic, and they had a box of cherries, and they had this many cherries, and they ate this many cherries, how many cherries were left. And then there was something else, I can't remember, because I was kind of watching the kids. But the last one I remember was they had a thing of 24 cupcakes, and they only ate 3. And I thought, not realistic, sister, but whatever. So then how many cupcakes were left? And she was explaining how to do it one way. And then I showed them another video, which I think the gentleman was from Australia, because it sounded like an Australian accent to me. And he explained it a different way. So they got 2 kind of different ways of doing it, which was good, because it'll hit, hopefully, all of their learning styles. And then we did a practice page that I showed you yesterday, where they had to color the ones place green. I had one little boy, I ended up having to give him another paper, a couple of them, because I had them get out a green. I said, get green, whatever you want. And they're like, marker? And I said, sure, you can use marker today, because your page doesn't have another thing on the other side. So that's fine today. I really stressed, today, for this thing only, you may use marker. I had them color the ones place green. And I even showed them, I projected it on the board. I did it with my green, every single one of them on my page. I had one little boy that went and colored every one green, like literal every number 1, no matter where it was. I'm like, oh honey, you're only coloring the ones place. These numbers on the right, those are the ones we're coloring green. And they're like, he's like, oh. So then I said, let me get you a new page, because you can't fix that. So I just gave him a new page. I'm a big believer in fixing the mistakes that you have in working with your paper, even if it's a little goofy, because it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. But it was just a complete mess. So I'm just like, here's another page. That's why I make extra copies, a few, for major boo-boos. So I gave him another paper, and I said, okay, this time, look at the board. I explained it to you. I showed it to you. Look at the board and make sure your paper looks like mine. Okay, I said, so show me what you're going to color. This. And he started to color the ones again. I said, no, stop. Look at the board. What did I color? I colored the ones place, not the number 1s all over the paper. The 2 numbers that are in the ones place on each problem. See how that's working? He goes, oh, I'm like, there you go. Because bing, the light bulb went on. So I stood there and watched him color for a little bit before I moved on, because I'm like, I'm not sure he really knows. He got it. And then some of them apparently read the directions on the paper, because I told them only color green the ones place and don't color anything else. Some of them read the directions, because on the paper it does say to color the tens place red. Well, I wasn't going to mess with that, because there's no point. Doesn't matter. They went and colored it another color. I'm like, hey guys, I really need you to listen to me right now. When Mrs. Bond asks you to do one thing, please just do the one thing. Don't do anything else, okay? It's really important. Like today, it's not as big a deal, but other times it might be a really big deal, and it'll kind of mess stuff up, okay? So if you went ahead and did it, it's okay. I'm not upset with you, but I want you to really listen to directions next time and follow only what I said, okay? It's really important to follow the teacher's directions. Okay. So it was okay. And I told them they could answer the problems in the marker too. I didn't care, because we can cross them out if they mess them up, whatever. So they got it really well. The only thing that threw them was when it was like 24 minus 7. And there wasn't anything in the tens place to subtract. And they're like, there's nothing there. I'm like, oh, what's the number for nothing? And they're like, 0. I went, yeah. So when you don't see anything there, that's like there's a 0 there. So you take that number minus 0. So you just drop that number down. They're like, oh. So that threw them for a little bit. And then it threw them when it was like 44 minus 42 or something. And they would get a 0 for the answer for the difference in the tens place. And they wanted to write 0 too for their answer. And I said, this is really weird, but when you get a 0 in the tens place, you don't need to write it, because everyone knows that's nothing if you don't write something there in the tens place. It just means there aren't any tens. They're like, I said, just like, okay, so if you're going to tell me how many shoes I'm wearing, are you going to tell me I have 02 shoes on? And they're like, no. I said, well, then what are you going to say? We have 2 shoes on. I went, oh. So if you were going to write, Mrs. Bond is wearing 2 shoes, would you write Mrs. Bond is wearing 02 shoes? I wrote that on the board. Or, and they're like, no. I said, or would you write Mrs. Bond is wearing 2 shoes? And they're like, oh. I said, there you go. That's the tricky part of this. The rest of it, not so tricky because we're not doing any regrouping. None at all. That's a whole other ball of wax that we're not going to get into right now. But they realized that it was really easy because the only difference between subtracting one number from one number and subtracting two numbers from two numbers, or a number from two numbers, the only difference is you have to subtract more times. I realized I need to get my smelly markers out so they can get smelly smileys when they finish, because they are living for that. And I told, we have an A+ helper in here because she comes in from the other classroom. And I'm like, wow, sweet. So she came over and I said, friend, I have smelly markers over here in this drawer. You are welcome to use them when we check papers, and you can give them a smelly mark. And she's like, oh, okay. So I brought the drawer over and I said, this green one, really, really strong spearmint smell and a peppermint smell on this one. But like this red one is cherry, it's really good. And the blue one's blueberry, that's really good. And the purple one's grape, and that's really good. She's like, I think I'll pick the cherry one. I said, cool. You can give them a smelly mark. And then I got the blue one and I gave them smelly smileys because that's my thing, smileys. So I went around and gave them smelly smileys when they did a good job. And they're like, I said, yeah, smelly smiley. So I think they're going to be living for the smelly smileys. Tomorrow we're going to use dominoes to do the domino subtraction. But I also found, another subtraction practice page where they color the things green and then they do their subtraction. What I was telling them was you color it green and that's the go sign. Go here first. That's go. Like on a stoplight, green means go. This means go. You go here first, then you jump over to the other lane and subtract them. So I want to make sure that they all totally get it before I let them loose with crazy dominoes and having to make their own numbers to subtract. The tricky thing with the domino subtraction is they're going to have to make sure that the biggest number is on the top. So we'll have to see how that works. I don't know. I think I'm probably going to have to go through the dominoes and take some of them out so that they can't get regrouping ones. But I may just take them home and look through them because I love to take stuff home. It's super fun. Yeah, but you do what you got to do, right? I do have extra time after school today, though, because my daughter's going to be at Gamers Club. There we go. I'm going to have to write this down, people. But at the end of the day, y'all know I can't think of stuff. It's going to be, that was more than 10 seconds ago. It's gone. So let me get some kind of writing device out. I need to go get my kids. Sort dominoes. That's going to be my note. Hopefully I know what I'm talking about later. Otherwise, I guess I'll have to go to the video and watch myself tell myself what to do. All right, I'll check it with you later. Okay, it's the end of the day. It is around 3:08. I remembered to sort my dominoes from my partner teacher, so she has dominoes for the game tomorrow. And I got her basket of things ready. I had to borrow some dominoes from my actual partner teacher so I can let the other teacher use them because I don't have enough dominoes for 2 class sets. Go figure. I just realized I haven't really eaten anything all day. Yeah. I think I had 2 bites of Pop-Tart this morning at 5 so I could take some medicine, hoping it wouldn't upset my stomach. So I'm going to sit here and eat my pretzel crisps with the rest of my chicken salad. Yum. Drink my water. Drink some more of my coffee from this morning that's still cold because I still have some ice in it. Need to fill out my injury report. Turn that in. Need to turn this into the office. I think. Oh, and I told the kids that I would get their work punches on their cards since I have extra time. So I will do that too. So I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff before my daughter comes to get me. So first thing is I'm going to eat something. We read in our science spin about some firefighting robots. Technology is so awesome. So now they have robots that can go into fires that humans cannot withstand, and they can help put the fire out. They also have fire motorcycles, so they can get through traffic easier. Really cool. And they have like kind of like robot fire hose things that will shoot water from a long distance, and it's a big opening so it can shoot a whole bunch of water from quite a ways away to help a really big fire get put out. Those were some things we learned from our science spin today from Scholastic. And then we learned about pumpkins and how they grow, and it was how to grow a giant pumpkin. So I'm thinking I need to get the biggest pumpkin ever or something like that. There's a book like that with the little mice. They're having a contest and they're trying to figure out who's gonna. Sorry, I'm falling out of my chair. They try to have a contest to see who can grow the biggest pumpkin. I think they're cousins or something. But I need to dig out my October books before October is gone. They're over there on my easel, and I have them in order, but I just haven't gotten to them. Go figure. I just feel like I cannot get myself together on a regular basis in here. Like, we didn't get any writing done at all because reading groups ran over, because the kids earned another star jar party, and I had to do the whole thing where they get to each pick something they'd like to do, and then we tally up how many of each thing. And excuse me, I kind of use that as partly a thing for math. Excuse me. Oh, goodness. Because I make a bar graph out of it, like a really crude looking bar graph, but it's still a bar graph, and I write, you know, how many in each thing, and then I did the how many more of this are there than this. And some of them really get it, and a lot of them really don't. So if I said there were like 18 students that picked ice cream, and there was one student that picked toys, how many more students picked ice cream than toys? And they'll go, 18. I'm like, no, because there is one toy. All 18 picked ice cream, but you gotta look how many of those have partners. So 17 have partners. I don't get the how many more. They just tell me how many there are. I'm like, no, listen. And then I showed them the go math way of figuring out how many more. It's the same thing as the bar graph. Instead of being horizontal, though, it's vertical. So I'm trying to get them to make the connection between, you can check it this way, but you can also see it this way. All you're going to do is you're going to partner them up like this instead of like this. So let's throw that in there every once in a while just to keep that going. I think I told you about the day earlier. I think I did. Yes, I believe I did. I don't remember. I think I talked to you at lunchtime and that was it. So after lunch, we did rest and read. We did choosing our next reward party, which they want to make smoothies. Cool. And I was like, what do you need for a smoothie? Do you need milk? And some kids are like, yeah. And some kids are like, no. And I said, okay. So I just put milk on the board. And then I said, do you need yogurt? And some kids are like, yeah. And some kids are like, no. So I'm thinking some people use milk to make a smoothie. Some people use yogurt to make a smoothie. I think I'm going to try to use the ice cream up that we have because we have a lot of vanilla ice cream left over. So I'm going to find some smoothie recipes, and I told them I'd probably try them out to see which work better. And I'm just going to get some, like, we decided on bananas and pineapple. And I'm like, oh yeah. So I think if I get the crushed pineapple, that'll probably be good. Maybe in a smoothie, in a blender. And I'm not sure of the logistics of this. I may need to borrow some blenders because that can take for stinking ever. Okay, so the office buzzed down and said that so-and-so kid needed to go to the pickups that I sent 20 minutes previously. And I went, I sent him 20 minutes ago. He should already be there. A long time ago. I'm like, well, he's not there. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I sent him. He was with the pickups. And he went with pickups yesterday and Monday. So they said, well, is he in late buses? I'm like, I don't know, but I can go check. So I'm looking through all the kids' faces in the late bus room. He's not in there. I go up to the gym because I'm going to, well, cafeteria, to check and see if he's still up there. Well, everyone's been picked up except a couple of stragglers. So he's not up there. And I said, you never found him? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I sent my pickups first. They go down the hallway and wait in their classroom groups. And then a couple of people take the whole line upstairs and have them sit in their places. Then I lined up my late bus riders and said goodbye to them. And then they all went out where they were supposed to go. And then I lined up my early buses. And that's how I always do it. I do one little group at a time, and then I see each kid leave and I can say goodbye to them. All right, so this is not the most flattering light ever. But as you can see, I am no longer at school because I no longer had any time to talk. After the whole fiasco of not knowing where this one kid was, I was smart after looking for him in the obvious places. I went, oh, let me find the teacher that took all the pickup passes from the kids. So I found her and I said, do you have my pickup passes? And she said, oh yeah, sorry. I said, that's okay. We just haven't been able to locate one of my students and we need to figure out what happened to him. So I got the stack of passes from her and lo and behold, his pass was in there, meaning he had been picked up by someone. So since this is a kid that goes to one place 1 week and one place another week, I went to the office and I said, I have his pickup pass. And the assistant principal was like, and I'm like, that means someone picked him up. And they're like, oh, I said, I think we need to call grandparents and say, do you have him or do you have him? And he was like, oh, good call, good call. I'm like, Yeah, why didn't we start there? Well, it turned out, I found out later, the whole situation ended where he had been picked up by the grandparent that was supposed to have him. The one that came to pick him up after, that started this whole schmoly deal where everybody was in a panic and I about threw up because I was like, what happened to my kid? What happened to him? Where is he? How did he get lost? Oh my gosh. The situation with that was the other grandparent had come to pick him up. Not on his week. Why? I don't know. They need to talk to each other better, apparently. I don't know what that was about. But I'm thinking that I'm going to go to the office and say, hey, what do you think about this? Why don't we have him come to the office to be picked up, and whoever comes to get him has to sign him out. That way we can go, oh, so-and-so picked him up already. To solve all this drama because, oh my gosh, I thought I was going to die of a panic attack. When you call down 20 minutes after I've sent a kid out to go home and you say you don't have him, you don't know where he is, that's a little nerve-wracking and disturbing to me. A 6-year-old is somewhere we don't know where. As a parent, I would freak out. So the situation was the other grandpa came to pick him up. I don't know why. He wasn't supposed to have him, but he did. Came to pick him up. Of course, we didn't have him because he'd already been picked up. But nobody realized that? Nobody checked to see if he'd been picked up already? I don't know. I think there was some not good thinking going on because I figured it out after I found out the situation. I'm like, let's go check and see if his pickup pass is here because maybe somebody already got him because he's a kid that lives in 2 households. So let's make sure that A and B are speaking with each other and know what A and B are doing. That was like 45 minutes of my life I will never get back. And it took me over an hour to calm down from that because I was just such in a panic. Pikachu is trying to attack my clothes. Pikachu! No. He's like a toddler. Super cute, and that's why he's still alive. In the midst of all this, there's craziness going on in the office. There are kids running around that shouldn't be in there because they're waiting for their mom to finish making copies for PTA stuff. They're causing problems because there's one that's squealing because he's a toddler, and the other older brother is causing him to squeal, which causes the secretary to get flustered and be like, would you please stop doing that to him? Get him out of here. Quit making him scream. Because we're stressed because his kid's been missing for a half an hour. Then we hear over the radio that one of our buses has been involved in an accident on the highway somewhere. And we don't know how serious. We don't know if anyone's hurt. We don't know if there's any damage to the bus or the other vehicle, whatever was involved. We don't know the situation. And it's just crazy time. It was Wacky Wednesday. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad to be home. And then my poor husband comes home a little bit late. He's had a wackadoo day too. So I tell him all about my crazy shenanigan day. He tells me all about his crazy shenanigan day. And meanwhile, it's like now 7:30 and we're all pooped. We don't even care about eating, but we're going to because there are leftovers. I'm getting ready for bed. You can see I'm in my pajamas. Haven't taken my makeup off yet. Thus the reason why I don't look like a complete goober. I got my lunch made for tomorrow. I got my iced coffee cup washed and sort of dried and refilled with the frozen coffee cubes and the iced coffee and stuck in the freezer. Got my daughter's water bottle filled, see, I can't even speak anymore, filled and put in the refrigerator for tomorrow. I'm getting ready to edit this vlog because I broke my own rule and didn't stop vlogging at a certain time because I just had to catch you up on the whole day. Blah! And I almost sensed this morning when I told you that my day was going to be so much better that I had just jinxed myself. I felt like I shouldn't have said that out loud. Honestly, though, the day was pretty good, other than my little squirrely kid not getting anything accomplished today. And it's my kid that keeps talking out all the time, and I'm just really done with it. Like when I say it's level 0, he'll go, yeah, it's level 0, and I'll be like, what are you doing? What did I just say? Please be level 0 like everyone else. Yeah, it's level 0. That means shh. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, stop talking. Like, I don't know what else to do other than just put my hand over his face. But I am not about to do that because that would be rude and not very kind and also not a good idea. Just Yeah, it wouldn't go over well with parents. I'm sure. I don't think I want a teacher putting their hand over my kid's face, no matter what the problem was. Unless it was to protect them from being mauled by a tiger or something. But just shut them up, I wouldn't be really happy with that. So, yeah, I'm not going to be starting that kind of stuff. But, okay, so this kid, I just said, okay, you need to go. You've got to. First, when he was messing around, I said, you need to go sit at the table by yourself and do your work over there because you're bothering people. And it's not okay. I'm done. So he just kind of looked at me like, what? And I said, grab your things and go. He was like, oh, she's serious. I'm like, yes, I am. So I just kind of looked at him and watched him go over there. And I said, thank you. Now do your work. And then he's my kid that yesterday did not do his math paper, despite the fact that we worked on the dang page for 20 minutes. He did not a single thing. Even though I went around to him and said, please do your math. And I come back, oh, you need to start working on your math. And then I checked on him again and nothing still. And he never did do anything. So I sent him home for homework. Then when I asked him about it later, he goes, I said, did you bring your homework back for math? He goes, what? I said, you know that paper that you never did? And I said, take this home for homework. And I put it in your folder and I showed it to you. Oh, I'll have to look and see. Meanwhile, this is like 2 o'clock. And we've been in school 6 hours. And we unpack at 8 o'clock. And you don't know. It wasn't in the turned in pile. Because I already looked through that. I went to his folder, and lo and behold, there it was. And it was done. Wow. It did happen. Amazing. So yeah, he just never bothered to unpack. His binder was still in his stinking backpack. What does unpacking mean, friend? We need to have a tutorial during recess with you and another friend. Because the other friend thinks that packing, he has the opposite issue. He thinks packing means shoving everything down into the bottom of your bag and shoving the binder on top of it to ensure that all your papers are a crumpled mess by the time you get home. It looks like a squirrel's nest. And I said, oh, even the kids noticed it and they're like, why is your backpack such a mess? Why do you have papers everywhere? And he goes, oh, well, I didn't have time to pack. And I said, no, that's not why. Sorry. Everyone has time to pack every day. This is a choice that you've made, friend. But that is okay because you will have time to fix it at recess. We will get you organized and ready to go in plenty of time. And he was like, I'm thinking. I had a kid like that a couple years ago. And I would show him several days in a row, this is how we pack. You put this in this side of the folder if it's homework. Then you put this in this side of the folder if it's not homework. You put this on the right back to school if it needs to come back because mom needs to sign it or it's homework. Everything else that you can just keep goes on this side. He knew. He darn well knew. He was just lazy and sloppy and didn't want to do it. So I would say, did you put everything in your folder today? And he'd go, yeah. And I go, show me. I want to see. And he'd go, oh, I'm like, Meaning, oh crap, she's calling me on my bluff. What am I going to do now? I'm 6 and I don't have an exit plan. And so, yeah, I started going, you have to show me your folder before you can leave. Because this is not okay. I spent a lot of time and effort putting that binder together for you. I spent a lot of time and effort teaching you how to use it to keep yourself organized so you do not lose important things. And I am not going to let you be a slob in my classroom. His desk was a disaster, which is why I'm really glad we don't have desks anymore. Because they cannot hide their messes in their cubbies because I see everything. Just like that, like Woody on Toy Story. I see everything. Can't turn my head all the way around, thankfully. You'd start thinking I was possessed more than you already do if I did that. But, oh my goodness. I'm sorry this is so wiggly. I don't have my tripod. It's at school. So, yeah. So, that was my crazy day. It was good for the most part. It just had some kind of weird, stressful moments. So, after school, when I told you I had all these things I was going to do, got not a single one of them done. Nope. Didn't get my accident report filled out. Didn't get any of the papers checked. Didn't get any of the work cards punched. Didn't get any of my stuff put together for tomorrow, which No, I did get the dominoes ready. So that the math stuff is like my things material wise are ready for tomorrow. Like I've got all that done and I changed my calendars and I did all that stuff. But as far as the other stuff that I needed to do, I didn't do any of it because I ended up having to try to look for that kid for like 45 minutes and then try to figure out what happened with him. And then I was like, somebody else already picked him up. And then I talked to one of our paras that is one of that does some of the intervention work. And we talked about a few issues with some kids and then it was time to go. So just when you think you have all this time, you don't. Oh, and I think I ate 3 crackers, like all day, and 2 bites of Pop-Tart this morning for my headache. Wonder why I don't feel good. Maybe it has to do a little bit with what I eat or don't eat. Yeah. So, on that note, I'm going to finish getting ready for bed. I've already got my clothes picked out. I've got my lunch ready, my coffee ready, my daughter's water ready. I'll have my bag ready. I will start editing this vlog so I can upload it tonight before I fall asleep on the couch. And I'm going to go eat a little something for supper and relax because I haven't really sat down until now to relax. I'm sorry this is so wiggly. And the cats are being wackadoo. They're like biting and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I asked my husband, I said, do you think that they're acting crazy because they can sense our stressed natures or our stressed out, whatever, our anxiety? And he's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, I think we all need to just calm down because he was frustrated about his day and I was frustrated about my day. My daughter was in the room just chilling. She wasn't frustrated. She wasn't frustrated about anything, which is good. But the cats just kept jumping on the counter and getting in trouble and biting and just being twerps. And it's like, would you stop? And they were like, you know, and I'm like, okay, I think we're feeding each other's frenzy here. We need to just chill out. So I'm going to go finish getting ready for bed, get a little bite to eat for supper, relax on the couch, edit and upload this vlog, and watch a little TV before I completely conk out and lose my mind. So I will chat with you in the morning on Thursday. And it will be a thankful Thursday because darn it, it's going to be. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and tap the notification bell so you don't miss anything new. Who would want to miss out on this crazy world? Love and hugs. Good night.